Let us offer our consecration to the Lord. Lord, we offer up to you this day, and we ask that your name be glorified in all that we do. We ask that you may come to lead us to where you are calling us in the glory of the Lord as we come to see the great power and the great joy that the Lord leads us to. And we ask this through Christ our Lord. Well, as you notice, we're doing a different reading from a different book every single day. And again, we're in that period just before Christmas when all the readings are the same every day. Meaning, as we look at December 18th is the same every year. That's what I meant to say. All the readings are the same every year, the week before Christmas. Interestingly enough, the week after Christmas, they're the same too, but it's for a totally different reason. It's because the saints we celebrate during those days, those readings are the same. So it's kind of interesting. It's like, how do we make those readings the same, but we don't use the same formula we did prior to the Christmas? Oh, well, we make all the saints there. So you'll see we go through a series of saints for the entire week, and all the readings are the same. So as we continue to go through this, and as we continue to understand that, we see that within context. So we're in the 23rd chapter of Jeremiah. And again, Jeremiah is a chapter that is speaking to the people who have gone astray. This is Jeremiah speaking before the Babylonian exile, where the Jews, and we call them Jews at this time because they're in Judah, and that's where that comes from. That's where Judaism comes from. And the Jews are turning away from the Lord. But remember, they were in Judah. What did we say yesterday? When we're looking at this message from Genesis that Jacob is speaking these words and to Judah, the actual Judah, the son who was the founder of the tribe of Judah, who eventually his progeny leads to the nation of Judah. Okay, and he's saying that this powerful leader will come out of Judah. Well, how is Jacob going to know this back then? He doesn't. And so now we see this powerful thing happening from Jeremiah where he's talking about this leader who will be known as, where the people will say, the Lord is our righteousness. And they're looking at that Jeremiah is speaking that these people will now, who will be scattered, and we're going to see that from the Babylonian exile and other ways, scattered throughout the world, will all come back throughout the world and be on their own land. Ooh, that's interesting. So anyway, that's what again, this is all part of the promise. And it's all coming out of this king who will be coming, who is this leader. Now, I want you to understand this within context. Let's go back to the time of Jesus. Remember, many of the people at the time, including the Pharisees and the Sadducees, would read this, and also Judas would read this and say, oh, the Messiah is going to become a new David, and we're going to have a new king, and he's going to build a just kingdom. But the Romans are in the way, so this new king has to run the Romans out. This is what they thought. We've come to learn none of this is true, but understand this. Let's assume for a second it would be true. Who would be the people affected most? The people who lived on that land. And nobody else. But the Lord came to change the world. The Lord came to be king of the world. And as we see, the Lord saved everybody throughout the world. Therefore, this whole concept of Jeremiah, this whole concept of the Lord coming, and what we see in Jeremiah speaking of the Lord coming is a powerful concept because it's leading us to see what we come to understand, that this nation of Judah which at the time really doesn't have an effect on anybody, to some degree, just like any other nation does. But, they're Judah. It's like, well, there's Judah, and then there's, I don't know, we could just take countries from today. There's Judah, and then there's Liechtenstein, and there's France, there's all these countries. Well, no, this country will have this righteous leader coming out of it. And then as we look at this within Christian terms, we're seeing this righteous leader will become the leader of the whole world in order that peace and justice may exist in the whole world. So again, this is the whole message of Advent. This is what we're looking forward to. And this whole thing is also trusting in the power of the Lord. Why? Because, remember, the Jews are going to be taken from Judah into Babylon. And what's going to happen in their mind? The whole nation is lost. And here Jeremiah is saying that will not happen. Yes, you will be disciplined pretty intensely, but you realize that Judah is here forever. And keep that in mind. We're going to be back on the other side of the break. You're listening to St. Anthony Overnight from St. Anthony Parish in Allston, Massachusetts. Are you looking for guidance on how to live a purposeful and transformed life? Look no further than Romans 12, a chapter in the New Testament that offers practical wisdom for believers. Romans 12 begins with a powerful call to offer our bodies as living sacrifices to God, urging us to renew our minds and align them with His will. This chapter highlights the importance of humility, using our gifts for the benefit of others, and exercising genuine love. It teaches us to be diligent in serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, persevering in tribulation, and being devoted to prayer. But it doesn't stop there. Romans 12 also teaches us to live in harmony with others, extending kindness and hospitality even to our enemies. It urges us to overcome evil with good and leave vengeance to God. So if you're seeking guidance on how to live a life of love, humility, and service, dive into Romans 12. Let its practical wisdom transform your life. Romans 12, a chapter that offers a roadmap to living a purposeful and transformed Christian life. Available now in the New Testament. Get your copy today. Don't forget, we have our special Christmas festival of Lessons and Carols Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon here at St. Anthony Parish in Allston. It's going to be in two languages, English and Portuguese. It's going to be in Brazilian Portuguese. And it's, again, Lessons and Carols, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, free to attend. So come join us and experience the special time of hearing the word and singing in celebration of it in preparation for Christmas. Well, we're continuing with our message here of the whole concept of what Advent is really pushing forth, that we are understanding that even though there is going to be this terrible time that Judah is going to go through because they have strayed from the Lord. Now, understand this within context, because you have to understand, we're talking a sense of evolution. This is so key. Now, again, if you don't believe in evolution, what you don't believe in is what is known as biological evolution. I do, but we'll leave it at that. And the reality is, it's this whole cultural, spiritual evolution. And this is the mechanics, as I said the other day, this is the mechanics to which the Lord is working. He's working on this reality, saying, this is the way I'm going to lead my people. This is the way I'm going to bring people to come to know how to be fully human, fully alive, as St. Irenaeus says. And all of this is leading towards that time then this king will come and be the king of the world and bring justice and peace to the whole world. So again, this is explained to the people at the time of Jeremiah who have strayed from the Lord, and others who have, and others who have been faithful, obviously the disciples of Jeremiah, but who have strayed, and others who have remained with the Lord. But in the midst of this, he is explaining it in a way they can understand. And this is the other thing that's really key, especially to atheists who don't understand this. The Bible speaks to us in ways over time that we can understand. Maybe a good example, maybe it isn't, we'll see. Did you ever watch cartoons when you were a kid? When you were a child, I should put it that way, sorry. When you were a child, you ever watch cartoons? And then you're an adult and you watch the same cartoons. Granted, I don't watch cartoons that much, but sometimes they pop up on YouTube. He's 66 years old watching cartoons. No. But occasionally they pop up. And all of a sudden you realize there was humor that you as a child did not get because you weren't understanding yet. Well, that same dynamic plays itself out here in the Bible. There are things being taught that the people may understand at that time, but also that we can look back and see it from a whole different perspective. So we see what was spoken to the people then. We understand how they comprehended it, and now we look at it and we see it from a whole different thing because of this evolution of spirituality, this evolution of culture, this evolution of humanity. And again, if you say, I don't believe in evolution, you don't believe in biological evolution, I do, but that doesn't mean the other evolution isn't by any chance there, because it's very obvious. It's clearly very much laid out in the Bible. And it's this whole evolution to help people understand at the level they are then, and some people reading from the future see it from a different perspective, this great, powerful prophecy that the Lord is saying through, in this case, Jeremiah. This is what's going to happen. And what is Advent all about? Looking forward to the first coming of Jesus, celebration of the first coming of Jesus. When we look forward to the second, and what's the message of the second? Jesus will come, and with it, he will bring, and with him will bring a world filled with peace and justice that can only happen when we recognize Jesus is our King. Powerful, powerful messages this week. Anyway, we're going to be back tomorrow. Have yourself a blessed day. We'll see you then. I want to call your attention to Catholic TV, which offers great faith-filled, family-friendly programming 24 hours a day. You can find your cable channel at www.getcatholictv.com, and you can watch online on the free apps or check out the YouTube channel. Daily Mass, Rosaries, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Novena are all available online and on demand. Check out CatholicTV.com. Remember, when you're looking for a place to attend Mass, and if you don't already attend Mass at your local parish, come to St. Anthony Parish in Allston, Massachusetts. We're located at 43 Holton Street in Allston, just a few blocks up from Soldiers Field Road. And you can check us out, come to our 10 o'clock a.m. Mass, and come to experience our Catholic worship at St. Anthony Parish in Allston, Massachusetts.